So, in this session, we're going to look at irony and what it means. Now, irony is the discrepancy between what is said and what is actually happening out there. So, for example, if you look at this visual, you will see that the visual has a car turned upside down, and the driver is, he's too stunned, right? And the signage in black behind the car says, "Thank you for driving carefully through our town." So that's the irony, that the driver is supposed to drive carefully, but instead he has ended up upside down. And the line at the bottom says, "Steve took the car too quickly and the car flipped over," right next to the sign thanking people for driving carefully. So that's a situational irony where uh, something that you're supposed to do ends up in a way that it is exactly opposite of what you were supposed to do. So you were supposed to drive carefully, instead you have driven recklessly, and you are here upside down on your head. And how is the irony brought out? The irony is brought out through the by placing these two contrasting features, right? The signage in the background, which talks about driving carefully, and the car in the foreground, which is upside down. Otherwise there would have been no irony. So it has, so the situation, the uh, irony as a device is where two contrasting elements are brought together in the same space, and they are juxtaposed in the same space. So in other words, it is contradictory statements or situations that reveal a reality which is different from what appears to be true. Now this picture is an example of situational irony, right? Where a situation is created where it becomes ironical. Sometimes it could be verbal irony also, where maybe you enter an auditorium and everyone is quiet, and you say, "Okay, please don't speak, everybody," but people are already quiet. So there's a kind of discrepancy between what the situation is, what exists in reality, and what you are saying. Or you come home to a big mess and say, "Oh, it's great to be back." Or maybe you are at work, or you're just preparing for your exams, and your friend comes and asks you, "Hey, how are you feeling?" And you say, "Great." Where you obviously don't mean that you're feeling great. It's the exact opposite of great, but you say great because you want to convey how you are feeling, the exact opposite of great, by using the word great. Or sometimes it can happen that your friend has made a mistake or something has gone wrong, and you say, "Excellent, excellent." So it's not that you're actually complimenting that person, you're being ironical, that, "Wow, look at the mess you have created," right? Now situational irony could be could be where a fire station is burning down. Now how is that a situational irony? Exactly like this picture, because a fire station is in existence. It exists for the sake of putting out fires. Now, it is so ironical if a fire station burns down, right? Then how will it protect others? Or a t-shirt with a Buy American logo. So you have you're wearing a t-shirt which says Buy American, which means buy everything that is American, but the label at the back says Made in China, right? So although you're endorsing America, you are actually getting your things made in China, or you're buying things from China, right? So that's the irony. That's situational irony. Now, irony is used as a very effective and useful literary device, but the effectiveness of irony as a literary device also depends on the reader's expectations and understandings of the disparity. Like we saw in allusion, how there should be a shared cultural literacy. Even in irony, this shared cultural literacy is very important, because otherwise the discrepancy will not come across, right? that between what should happen and what actually happens in a literary work. So, in fact, here I would like to give you the example of a story by O. Henry, who's a very famous short story writer. The name of the story is um, "The Gift of the Magi." And in this story, it's a beautiful love story where there's this couple, a newly married couple, and they are not very rich. They are not very well off. So the girl has lovely hair, and the boy has left his father to be with the girl, and all he has is his father's gold watch. And now Christmas is approaching, and each thinks of gifting something to the other, and both think as to what they will give. So the girl thinks that she'll give a chain to the boy so that the watch can have a chain, a gold chain. And the boy thinks, the wife thinks that she'll give a gold chain, she'll gift her husband a gold chain, and the husband thinks that he'll gift a pair of combs to his wife. Combs is a kind of, it's this piece of jewelry. So he wants to buy her combs made of tortoise shells, which are really expensive because she has this long, beautiful, cascading hair, and he would like her to tie it up and use combs. Uh, Now, both of them don't have the money. Neither of them has the money to afford such an expensive gift. So, what the girl does is she goes to a store which buys hair, and she cuts off her hair and she sells it at the store. And with that money, she buys this chain for her husband. And the husband, what he does is, because he doesn't have the money, he he sells off his gold watch to buy her a pair of combs. Now, on Christmas Eve, when they exchange gifts, when he gives her the comb, it is ironical because she doesn't have the hair anymore, right? She's cut her hair short. So how is she going to wear the comb? And she gives him the chain, but he doesn't have his watch to put it in, right? So that's situational irony, and irony over here is used beautifully as a literary device to bring out the poignancy of the situation, and also the intensity of the love of this couple. And that is where the story ends very beautifully with a message that though it's ironical that each gives a gift which the other has no use for, nonetheless it brings out the true feelings, the actual love, the intense love they have for each other.